Alrighty, proxies. We got another reaction here. This one from Vincent in the response to St. Tonis. Is Zenless Zone Zero's endgame really that bad? Chat and I have both already watched a little bit of St. Tonis where he was skipping through this video and not really watching it for the context or watching it for what was going on in it. And basically was given an opinion about just his own internal thoughts of what he thought he saw by doing this routine right here. So apparently you can skip the entire 18-minute video and give an opinion about it without having to watch it. I understand that listening, I understand that reading is an acquired skill that's, not too many people like to do. So in this reaction, I would like to go ahead, sit down with my chat here, watch the video, get your guys' thoughts and opinions. Feel free in the chat to go ahead and say what your thoughts, what your opinions are, what your criticisms are of the video as well. And yeah, let's get started.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Today we'll once more do a bit of a response video to another content creator, this time being St. Tonis. Now, I'm pretty sure everyone is already familiar with Saint. He's a pretty big content creator, well established within the gacha space, and covers many subjects with his main focus being on creating Withering Waves videos, while also delving into some Hoyo-hating topics every now and then to bash on Genshin, HSR, and ZZZ. Now, I get why that's the case for him. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. I also got burned with Genshin and HSR, but I'm still willing to play ZZZ and hoping it doesn't go down the same route as its predecessors, and so far, it hasn't let me down. Saint, on the other hand, is doing the gaming equivalent of hate watching, so let's call it hate playing. But don't let me keep you too much with my yapping. Let's get into this video, and it starts off with a short story. I was doing my dailies in Withering Waves, and I like to have a video playing in the background whenever I don't have to pay attention to story elements. Saint isn't really my go-to, not because I don't like his content, but more so his energy. He has this very aggressive and hostile way of speaking that I'm not really a fan of because it drains me. When I play games, I just want to chill, and having someone scream through my screen hurling insults everywhere isn't my idea of a relaxing time. But every now and then, he will come up with a video that I'm genuinely interested in, and I'll watch it. This time, the video in question was Zenless Zone Zero's endgame is unplayable. And I thought to myself, hang on, I didn't have any issues with the endgame, so what's the problem? And so I started watching.
Little bit of experience.
All right, before we get started with what Saint has to say here, from that entire beginning, that entire intro right there that Vincent had brought up, what do you guys think? Do you agree with the take that, that St. Tonis is a little bit draining when you're watching one of his videos? Because pretty much all his videos really are is just recordings from his live stream that he populates again on his channel. To me, I'll say this. I don't think St. Tonis is exactly draining as much that I feel like sometimes I am questioning the reality of life. I'm questioning the reality. Does the person know how to read or listen? Like, I'm just saying. To me, it is mostly a person who is, it's got a hate boner towards a game like Zenless Zone Zero just because he wants to contribute it to Hoyo, and because Hoyo's a bad publisher, all games developed by Hoyo is bad. I'm just saying, that's how it feels. And yeah, let's continue on. Let's see what Saint has to say about all of this.
Experimenting. I've done a little bit of a couple of trial runs with a couple of teams, and I have come to the conclusion that this is quite possibly the worst Shiyu defense in the history of the game.
Oh boy, here we go. Alright, just like in my last video, I'm going to be letting Saint make his case.
Oh my goodness, is this thing horrifically balanced? Because on side one, you have the massive issue of, well, you probably guessed it, you have a combination of HP inflation, one of the most despicable boss movesets in the game, and camera issues in the game with Jane, and of course, on top of all of that, miasma. And you want to know the best part about this version of the Shiyu defense? Is that the miasma bar on this Jane, which we all know is a pain in the ass to take down, literally regenerates. If you do not beat this floor within about 2 minutes and 10 seconds, 2 minutes, 20 seconds, you will have to go through a second miasma bar. It is one of the most disgusting things I think I've ever seen in a gacha game as a whole. A mechanic that's this absurdly ridiculous. As we...
All right, before I continue on with this, I want to ask the chat on this one. Maybe I'm misremembering. Maybe I'm confused about something. I am not sure. But I remember playing this and clearing it within like 2 minutes and like 5 seconds or something like that, right? And even a team at the time like Alice, Yuzuha, and Jane Doe against Miasma Jane Doe. But let's continue on then.
Go ahead and we show off the team we're going to be using against Jane. We're going to be running it with this buff in mind. Agent crit damage increases by 20% and anomaly proficiency will increase by 40 points. So we're clearly shilling, right, a lot of anomaly focused crit anomaly focused teams. Miyabi should be a top pick over here because both of these stats benefit her. And then you're going to have a second buff where when a support agent uses their EX special skill or aftershock, all members' attack will increase by 20% and your anomaly damage will increase as well. So you should be thinking, damn, a Lucy Bernice Miyabi team is going to pop off over here. Let's go ahead. Let's see how that team looks. And second, we will be making sure to swap out the Lucy for the new limited character that's coming out, because of course we want to see just how shilly the buffs are and if the new units are required to clear content. Before we go in and we actually show off the clear, let me show you the teammates that I'm using. This Miyabi is a little bit stacked. 3.6k attack, 75.4% crit rate, 147.
Yeah, really good Miyabi.
Right? You can just look at those stats as a whole. You know she's gonna cook. She's also got her W engine.
This is the
Next up, for the Bernice. Well, this is what we're going to have. 2.4k attack, 368 anomaly proficiency, 1.56 ER. I know I probably could do with a little bit more proficiency, but this is already looking fine enough to clear. It should be enough to clear most of the content.
That's perfectly fine.
Game. And she's going to be on Weeping Gemini with this set. And then next up, for the Lucy, we're going to be having 2.5k attack, relatively modest looking crit rate, and she's also only going to be M5. I do not have her M6, so would be happy to make sure to go back to her often to reset the buff. So, yeah, she's going to be on 4-piece Astral and the 2-piece Sweet Jazz. And so for the W engine, Lucy is just going to have Kaboom the Cannon, her own. So we're all basically set. We got either the best option for the DPSs or their best free-to-play option, and that's what we're going to be running with. For the Bang Boo that's going to be assisting, we're going to have Snap, the general use case one. So let's go ahead and see how this team does.
Really quickly, would you guys agree? That looks like a solid team to me. I think it's a solid team. What you guys think? Why are he's in a general? Let's not worry about Snap. I mean, we could do a better Bang Boon and Snap, but let's not worry about Snap. It's okay. But can we say that it is a pretty solid team? It's a good team, that's for sure, right? Okay.
Against Miasma Jane. And make sure you pay attention to the camera work, because this boss, just think about fighting it yourself when you see some of the animations.
Okay, so let's make a list of the points he's trying to make in this video. Number 1, Miasma is a bad mechanic because it inflates your clear times to the point you're not able to get an S rank clear and thus get all of the polychrome rewards. Number 2, the second Miasma shield stops him from clearing within what he calls the time limit, meaning 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Number 3, he thinks that getting a 3-minute clear means you did something horrifically wrong because you can't get the S rank. And number 4, the newest units, in this case Yuzuha, are required to clear content with an S rank. Since replacing Lucy with Yuzuha gets him a 2-minute 5-second clear, I assume that makes Saint come to the conclusion that ZZZ is going down the same route as HSR where power creep is rampant. Let's start off by tackling that first point. I'll be the first one to come out and say that Miasma has all of the potential to act as a FOMO mechanic, but ever since it was implemented up until now, that potential has remained unfulfilled. At the moment of writing, Miasma is just a mechanic that needs to be played around. Keyword here being play, as in you have to actually play the game to deal with it. Eliminating the Miasma shield not only deals damage to the enemy, but also refreshes your agent's energy, so it's not acting as just an impediment to the player, it's acting as a challenge that doles out a reward once overcome.
Right. Okay, Muzzy, another great channel here within the Zenless Zone Zero community, will make this statement that it is not a DPS loss, it's a DPS gain. He also has a video himself that is on YouTube about Miasma Shield, to where he played against the same exact boss with Yuzuha, with Nekomata, and Paltra. And straight up, even glitched out the very first Miasma Shield off of it to where it had never showcased it. And he actually got a 2-minute and 53-second time without the shield. And then when he got the shield, he went play it again. He got the shield. He was able to go ahead and clear it within like 2 minutes and like 25 seconds or something. Might have been 2 minutes and 36. He was able to clear it a lot faster, just because he had the Miasma Shield mechanic that refreshed his energy and everything, that allowed him to dish out more damage. So, to a lot of people out there who doom posts the Miasma Shield mechanic, it has been proven by multiple different content creators. We have even looked at it. It's not a bad mechanic. It is a gimmick that looks bad, but when you actually play through it, it actually rewards you, and it can actually be a gain to your game.
Second point is something that I can't really argue with. Yes, getting a second Miasma Shield at 2 minutes and 20 seconds will pretty much cut you out of getting a 2-minute and 30-second clear. But here's the problem with his statement. You don't need to clear within 2 minutes and 30 seconds on one side to get the S rank. You just don't. That is not a hard requirement that the game asks of you.
No, you don't.
Third point is also a misconception. You can still get an S rank even if you have 3 minutes on one side. I personally wouldn't say you did something horrifically wrong if you got a 3-minute clear on one side, but I will say you probably didn't play your best. ZZZ gives you a full 5 minutes shared between both encounters for you to get the S rank. If you end up in a situation where one side takes you 3 minutes and the other 2 minutes, I fail to see what the problem is. You're still getting the S rank. But Saint is acting like 2 minutes and 30 seconds is the absolute limit on both sides, as if going.
This is exactly from one of my videos already on Saintonus, is that when he made the argument about the entire crap with Miyabi, you know, with the ice resistance and everything that we all talked about, he was complaining that, oh no, Miyabi was past 2 minutes, the power creep Miyabi. It's like, dude, with all your suboptimal gameplay, with you even with a stacked Miyabi and everything, and not playing to your best of your ability and just casually playing, you're still able to get an S rank. All you proven was that the people who's telling you don't know how to fucking play the game, that you're shit at the game, all you did was prove to them that you don't need to be an elitist to actually play this game. You don't need to be a tryhard. That even a person of your caliber who barely plays, a tourist if you would, can get an S rank. It's not a big deal.
Going past 2 minutes and 30 seconds is an automatic loss. It's not. Now let's take a look at his final point. New units being required to clear endgame content. This has already been proven to be false multiple times throughout the game's life, as there are still people clearing endgame content with teams of only 4 stars. But
there has been videos, if I'm not mistaken, of people clearing all the content in Zenless Zone Zero, that you have all shown different takes on this, with M0 A-rank agents, with BW engines, not even their own signatures, not even A-rank, with BW engines clearing multiple types of content from the tower, deadly assault, and Shiyu defense. While we all know that HP inflation does exist, one thing players have proven is that while it exists, HP inflation is not an issue at this time period. The moment a Billy cannot complete properly, and the moment that these A-rank agents are really suffering and they cannot actually complete no matter what they do, then at that point in time, I think we can say that HP inflation is an issue.
that's not the argument I will be bringing to the table, even if it is still a valid argument. What I will be saying is that you don't need the newest units, seeing as older 1.x units are still some of the best we've had, like how Miyabi, Yanagi, Lighter, Lycon, and Astrayao are still at the top of the tier lists more than 8 months after.
In the terms of like Wuwa, with the Weather Waves community, we have to correct misinformation here. We have to correct misinformation. In this entire list that he has just presented, I am sorry, Vincent, but Lycon needs to be taken off this list, as he is not a limited S rank agent. He is a standard S rank agent. He would not apply into this situation. Okay? We gotta take him out of that list. He does not apply. Doesn't matter if he's on top of the tier list or not. He's standard. Remember, like even in Wuthering Waves, we don't talk about the standard S rank or 5-star characters in that game.
Their release. But that's not even my point. That's just an appetizer, if you will. The main way I can prove to you that you don't need the newest units is by replicating Saint's team composition and trying my hand at the same boss fight as he did and see what happens. I actually did this fight once out of sheer curiosity without recording as I was listening to his video. I quit Wuthering Waves, booted up ZZZ because I just couldn't believe that things had gotten so bad in the newest reset of Shiyu defense, but just as I logged in, I realized that, wait, I'd already cleared it. There is no new reset, it's just Saint being late to the party. Okay, that doesn't really matter. We all play when we have time in our schedules, but I don't recall having any issues with clearing this. But alright, let's chalk it up to the fact that I didn't use Lucy and Bernice, because I'll be honest, I'm not really a big fan of how Bernice plays. So I started the fight with the same team compositions, and I got around a 2.
Poor Bernice fans in the chat. I now give you all the ability to say F in the chat. This man does not like playing Bernice. He does not like the nitro fuel.
2-minute, 20-second clear, give or take, because I don't remember exactly and I didn't record it. But I decided to start recording after, and this was pretty much what happened. I won't be showing my character stats just yet. You'll be able to see those after the fight. You'll see why. It's kind of funny. You can see my previous clear here. It's 221 and 152. I'm pretty sure I had Miyabi on the right side with Astra and Vivian, whereas on the left side, I had Jane Doe, Bernice, and Yuzuha. We only care about the first side this time around, so no need to make a team for the second one. As for the Bang Boo, I didn't really know what to use here, so I just went with the Sons of Caledon one since I barely use it anyway due to the fact that I almost never have 2 Sons of Caledon on the same team. But never mind that. Now sit back and just enjoy the clear. You'll be able to tell that I'm not playing perfectly as I get hit quite a few times and use a skill here and there that I shouldn't be using. I'm by no means a sweaty player as I've already established on this channel. I just like to clear the endgame for the rewards and I will not be touching it again until the next reset.
So far, solid. I'll tell you what, Jane Doe is a scary, scary fucking bitch. All right. I mean, this is pretty solid so far. Oh, it alt here. There it goes. Never mind, he's already did it. Okay. Relatively a solid run.
I was able to use this team to get a 2-minute 10-second clear. But is it really 2 minutes and 10 seconds? The timer still ticks even after you finish the fight and the portal opens, so if we want to know the actual time, let's see where the timer itself stopped once the boss was dead. It looks like the actual clear time is 2 minutes and 4 seconds. So what happened? How was I able to get this clear time? Well, let's start by showing you my actual character stats. Let's start off with Miyabi. Straight off the rip, you can see that my Miyabi has less stats than Saint's. He has a whopping 1071 more attack than I do and 14.4% more crit damage. The only thing my Miyabi is better at is crit rate with 4% more than what he has. Everything else is the same. I'm going to be honest, Saint wasn't lying when he said his Miyabi was stacked. In terms of gear, I just have her signature that was never overclocked and a 4-piece branch and blade song and a 2-piece polar metal. Moving on to Bernice. Compared to Saints, I have 276 more attack, 63 less anomaly proficiency, and 4.8 less crit rate. Crit damage and energy regen are the same for the both of us. On the equipment side, we have the same W engine as Saint, a max overclocked Weeping Gemini with a 4-piece Chaos Jazz and a 2-piece Inferno Metal. And now for the best part, and the reason I wanted to show this to you at the end, Lucy. Compared to Saint, we have 725 less attack, 32.4 less crit rate, 19.2% less crit damage, 36 less anomaly proficiency, and 0.7 less energy regen.
But yours is a Cinema 6, where his was a Cinema 5. You spent money. It's a $2,000 team. It's invalid.
You might wonder why my Lucy is in such dire straits compared to Saint's. Well, the answer will be made clear once you see her gear. She doesn't have her disk drives leveled, which makes this even funnier to me. Aside from one disk drive, everything is at 0 or close to 0. Even the W engine I'm using here is the same as Saint's. It's even at the same overclock level. The one thing that I have over Saint in Lucy's case is the M6, which lets me have her buff for a longer time. So with this playthrough of Shiyu Defense, I think it is very safe to say that, in fact, you do not need to pull for the newest units to clear the most recent endgame. Yuzuha is not required, and ZZZ is not suffering from the same level of power creep that HSR does. Does the game have power creep? Yes. Does it have HP inflation? Yes, it does. But so do other games, and I'm not just referring to gacha. But we've already seen that these elements are still balanced in ZZZ. Even Wuthering Waves has HP inflation and power creep, but Saint is willing to give Wuthering Waves a pass because
it's literally not an issue. And if the number does go up, then they have the stuff in the game that will go ahead and mitigate it. That dragon also resists Mortifi attacks, so I'm using a sub DPS who's dealing...
Wait, rewind this? Thank you for using this clip. Thank you.
Wuthering Waves a pass because
it's literally not an issue. And if the number does go up, then they have the stuff in the game that will go ahead and mitigate it. That dragon...
So, Wuthering Waves gets a pass because they have the stuff to mitigate the HP inflation problem. While ZZZ also has this, ZZZ doesn't get a pass. Do I smell double standards? Do I smell bullshit?
Also resists Mortifi attacks, so I'm using a sub DPS who's dealing
he got
zero
caught
damage or has 40% damage reduction.
Which is a fair point. If you've got the tools at your disposal to clear the endgame with, then HP inflation is not an issue. But for some reason, Saint isn't willing to extend the same amount of goodwill to ZZZ. Even when the game still allows you to clear the endgame with a full team of 4 stars, it's apparently not enough because sweats would do that. I mean, does it matter if you're a sweat? Isn't that the whole point of a good gacha game? To make weaker characters shine thanks to how skilled you are. Then what about the people clearing with 4 stars in Wuthering Waves? What would you call the people maining and doing solo clears with Danjin? Don't those qualify as sweats? Should those clears also be invalidated? If you want to make the point that it's harder to do than if you had 5-star characters, yeah, of course. That's the main point of any gacha. Higher star characters are stronger than lower star characters. It's valid for both ZZZ and Wuthering Waves. You'll have a much easier time clearing endgame with Kartathea than you would have if you used Danjin or Yang Yang. So what conclusions can we draw from this little experiment? If I'm being honest, I really don't think Saint is a bad player. I don't. He spends way too much time in Wuthering Waves, and since ZZZ is very similar in terms of combat, I don't think that the skills he has developed in Wuthering Waves don't translate to ZZZ. I mean, I play both games and my skills certainly translate from one to the other. What I do think, and this is an assumption on my part, is that he doesn't want to engage with the game in good faith. He doesn't want to give it a fair shake, as it were. he has had quite a few moments where he tries to make his arguments by presenting half-truths. For example, the whole idea that you need to clear in 2 minutes and 30 seconds, otherwise you don't get an S rank, that's only true if somehow your teams aren't built enough or you've made enough mistakes that you need the full 5 minutes to get the S rank. If one of your teams is weaker than the other, there's no issue having a longer clear time on the weaker team side and a shorter clear time on the stronger team side. Even Saint's own clear times add up to 4 minutes and 1 second, leaving almost an entire minute unused. That's 20% of the allotted time. Or another example, how apparently it doesn't matter if you put Miyabi on a frost resistant enemy because she has 30% ice resistance shred baked into her kit. It's true, she does have this 30% ice shred baked into her kit, but what he forgot to mention was that this shred only applies to a single specific attack out of her entire kit. It doesn't apply to all of her attacks, her skill, or her ultimate. That attack is the Shimotsuki stance. You hold down her attack button to consume her fallen frost points.
Judgment
and
cut.
An attack based on how many points you consume. Furthermore, this ice shred only becomes available if you trigger a disorder effect before making that attack. So it's not even available on every single Shimotsuki stance. Do you see what I'm getting at? I'm not trying to tell you to not listen to Saint, and I don't even want to call him a liar. I really don't know the guy at all, but
I'll call him a liar. I'll straight up and say that the man's damaging his own reputation because the man is straight up pretending that he's an expert in multiple gacha games when he doesn't clearly understand how to read. Hence why you think that, we still haven't had a conversation. I mean, this is a person that's willing to go ahead and, in good faith, tear down people on a live stream and such, but he can't deal with it when someone can actually present facts against his facts. I mean, that's just what it is. Like, bro, straight up is lacing down a truth, a half truth, right? Which, yeah, we can agree. Miasma Shield, observationally, looks bad. After we see it, and we agree that it looks bad, and then new information comes in light that showcases it's not bad, that it's a gimmick, and it helps in anything, we dismiss it. That is the game that St. Tonus likes to play. Because for some reason, he's got to shill Wuwa 100%. And like you heard earlier, Wuwa has tools to combat HP inflation. But the tools in ZZZ apparently don't count.
from the limited amount of time I've spent watching his videos so far, I can't exactly say that he's been telling the whole truth either. But hey,
see you later,
I might be
Magoma.
completely wrong about the guy. Maybe all of my conclusions about him so far are 100% in the wrong because I haven't monitored his entire online presence. The one single fact that I am absolutely sure of is that I went into the same boss challenge he did, with the same team composition, with overall worse stats, and I was able to clear in 2 minutes while he couldn't. And I can't tell you why, because honestly, I don't find it fun to analyze and criticize someone else's playstyle. But I can at least tell you that this is not an issue that was caused by the miasma, nor by the HP inflation, nor by having to pull the newest character. Take from that what you will. Draw your own conclusions from this little experiment, and do be so kind as to share your conclusions or thoughts in the comments down below, because I am actually interested to see what people have to say about this. But that's going to be it for me. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like and a sub to help with the dark gods of the algorithm, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, have a good one. Going past 2.
Good video. Good video. You know what? I give a subscribe to that. I'll subscribe to that. I mean, so before we continue on, though, and we get to the end of this video, I'm just going to say that there is another recording that I have done before all this, before reacting to this video, that I will go ahead and I will play right now at this point for you guys to take a look at something else that happened today on August 24th, 2025. Alrighty, Proxy, my man, welcome back. And lo and behold, we have another take from our Lord Senpai himself. This one, I had to go ahead and get basically, I never heard of this, and apparently the chat has heard something about this. So let's first go ahead and see what St. Thomas has to say about a couple of different things here really quickly. And we're going to present the ultimatum from this.
Saint, you got debunked, buddy boy. How did I get debunked?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Today we'll once more do a bit of a response video to another content creator. This time...
So, first and foremost here, it looks like he's going to be reacting to a video that's in response to him over Zenless Zone Zero's Endgame by Vincent Rememberth. Which, we're going to check that video out here shortly after we hear what commentary Saint has to provide.
being Saint Tontus. Now, I'm pretty sure everyone is already familiar with Saint. Now, let's call it hate playing, but
I love how he goes with the intro of, I'm pretty sure everyone is familiar with Saint. I didn't know I was that well known in the ZZZ community.
don't let me
Oh, I'm sure you know you're not that well known. Take a pride in that, man. You're known, dude. You're known.
keep you too much with my yapping. Let's get into this video, and it starts off with a short...
The well-known tourist is ZZZ. I like that.
Oh my goodness, is this thing horrifically balanced? Because on side one, you have the massive issue of, well, you probably guessed it, you have a combination of HP inflation, one of the most despicable boss movesets in the game, and
point you're not able to get an S rank clear, and thus get all of the polychrome time limit, meaning 2 minutes, and for the newest 2 minutes second miasma new fact that I almost never have to and just
Bro is liking right now to skip through every single part of the video right now. For whatever reason, he's not going to understand any context about what Vincent has to say in response to him. But yeah, a little bit confusing why he's doing this.
What am I looking at here?
They would not just say that, again, by skipping through a video from the very beginning all the way to the 11-minute and 26-second part, you're not going to understand context unless you listen. I know it's a hard skill.
Okay, you cleared it before the second miasma shield. Congratulate. Like, what are we even doing here? Guys, the boss was literally confirmed to have a hidden nerf to anomaly units. The boss was confirmed to have a hidden nerf that reduces anomaly buildup, and Yasuha's kit increases anomaly buildup and makes it function normally against the boss. Like, my take was, this boss is fucked up and takes way too long to clear. That was my take. And then, if it just is found out later that there was a hidden mechanic making the boss fucked up and hard to clear, that doesn't make my take wrong. It just means that I didn't know there was a line of code in the back end that nobody knew about when I did it that made it harder. Like, this community is just like so cooked, man.
All right, so the community is cooked because apparently Miasma Shield Doppelganger Jane Doe apparently had a hidden mechanic, according to him, that Yasuha made this apparently clear a lot faster. First and foremost, if we take a look at the team, you know, we have Miyabi, Bernice, and Lucy, and I don't see a Yuzu on here, and pretty much at the 8-minute mark right here, they're clearing it perfectly fucking fine. But this hidden mechanic that he's talking about, DPD Huntress is the one that went ahead and provided this information. Guys, before we go down into this and we move this video down and look at this, chat, this is Shiyu defense, correct? This is Miasma Jane Doe from Shiyu defense back from 2 Shiyu defenses ago. Why are we talking about a mechanic, a hidden feature that is in Deadly Assault? If we read this correctly, something I did not notice before, but as of 2.1, it seems like Deadly Assault started to increase the boss anomaly buildup res Also, currently at 10% universal build-up res for all attributes. This change was made last minute on the Yuzuha CC server in exchange for lowering the HP of most bosses available. This change is already on live servers as made during the Yuzuha CC beta. Want to report it as an interesting to consider if they keep going forward with how they do calculations, I guess is what they meant, the calcs. Then come back, there's an edit that was made. I made a mistake. This is not anomaly build res, but instead max anomaly buildup. AKA, it's a separate multiplier to the buildup res, increasing maximum anomaly buildup required by 10%. E.g., 3,300, 3,300, and 3,600 going into 3,960 for physical. Post has been edited to clarify. I apologize. Again, currently 2.2 Deadly Assault stages do not have this max anomaly buildup increase. However, Deadly Assault stats usually change quite a bit over the beta, so don't take this as a fact for now. Let's replay what he's saying because he is reporting this for a Shiyu defense boss, right?
Okay, you cleared it before the second miasma shield. Congratulate. Like what are we even doing here? Guys, the boss was literally confirmed to have a hidden nerf to anomaly units. The boss was confirmed to have a hidden nerf that reduces anomaly buildup, and Yuzuha's kit increases anomaly buildup and makes it function normally against the boss. Like, my take was, this boss is fucked up and takes way too long to clear. That was my take. And then, if it just is found out later that there was a hidden mechanic making the boss fucked up and hard to clear, that doesn't make my take wrong. It just means that I didn't know there was a line of code in the back end that nobody knew about. When I did it, that made it harder.
No, you would be wrong because you read a posting and you put Shiyu defense and Deadly Assault to try to go ahead and make a claim that this is for the bosses here in Shiyu defense, when clearly it states it's for Deadly Assault. It was a Deadly Assault update. I think it's a great video from Vincent right here. I think it's a great response to Saint's takes. And he makes some very, very good, valid points, except for the Lycon, because we can't put standard characters in this. We can't. Although, I mean, and at the same point in time, it's a $2,000 team with an M6 Lucy, apparently, so the run was invalid in that regards. But still, great video, I think. Good points. And it showcases a narrative, if anything else. So, until next time, keep it classy, keep it jazzy, always keep it real. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and leave whatever comments you like down below. Because, man, oh man, are we able to go ahead and take a look at this in so many different ways. Alrighty. Ciao.